Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome back to another Ghost of Tsushima video, but not just any Ghost of Tsushima video. No siree, Bob. Can't tell I just woke up. Guys, this is the video you have all been waiting for. Well, most of you have been waiting for, and a lot of people have been asking me about. That is my Nightmare Samurai build. Now, guys, you know this build has been 2 weeks in the making, and I could not sit here and look you in the eye and say that I did this on my own. If I sat here and made a list of all the people that helped me, of all you incredible people that helped me, we would be here for like another 5 minutes straight. So everybody that has sent me a build, that has given me tips, that has shown me gameplay, and just overall been a help to me, I want to say thank you guys. I appreciate you so much. I've had a great time learning a samurai, and obviously I'm not claiming to be any kind of expert at the samurai. I've been playing it for about 2 weeks straight now. I've been trying almost every build you guys have been sending me and finding what's right for me, because ultimately at the end of the day, it's about how you play the game and what you're comfortable with. Now, if you guys have watched my other builds, you guys have seen an overall theme. Pretty much every build that I have is all about survivability, and it's very well balanced in between damage, in between survivability. This build, as you can imagine, is no different, guys. This build is circled around solo queuing and going in to Nightmare Survival and even Nightmare Story Mode. I've tested it in both, and being able to hold your own, being able to get a great amount of kills and rarely go down as long as you're playing it correctly. I think you guys will enjoy this build if it's something you're looking for. So without further ado, let's get into it. Also, one more thing before I forget, guys, if you guys aren't already part of the Discord, a good like 15 to 20 people joined the Discord from the last video. I have created a specific section for Ghost of Tsushima. If you guys are interested in a looking for group type setting, just general overall chatting and posting your media, whether it's your videos or whether it's like screenshots of Ghost of Tsushima, feel free to join the Discord. The link is down below. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoy and you have a great one. Peace. All right, guys, what is going on? We are finally here. So for those of you who don't like to sit around and watch the whole in-depth video, I will be putting it right here on the screen for you. So if you want to take a quick screenshot of my gear, feel free. And these are my techniques right here. Now, for everybody else who is here for a more in-depth video, welcome guys to the video many of you have been asking and waiting for, and I have been putting it off because, guys, quite frankly, the samurai is an extremely versatile class, and honestly, there's about 4 to 5 viable builds in order to use a samurai and actually have fun and like kill stuff with. So I think that I have finally found the build for me, and thanks to all of you, we are here now. So without further ado, let's get into this incredible build. So firstly here, guys, we have MASAMUNE'S. I gotta figure out how to say this. A few of you guys taught me how to say this in my last video. Okay, my man Danny Boy tells me it's pronounced Masamune, so that's what we're gonna say. MASAMUNE'S Edge. Guys, this is a vital part of this build, and honestly, I don't know if you guys remember me playing my samurai on this week's Nightmare Survival, and I was saying that I felt kind of weak. Somebody suggested that I use MASAMUNE'S Edge, and guys, wow, has this completely changed it for me. So I don't feel weak anymore. That's for damn sure. For those of you who are not sure what this specific weapon does, if you see right here, melee attacks have a 20% chance to deal double damage. Now, this can proc on your ultimate. This can proc especially while you're just regular fighting any kind of Oni, any kind of enemy at all, and it makes a massive difference. And I tell you, I do not feel weak like I did before. This has definitely changed the game for me, and it is absolutely worth the legendary slot. Like I said, guys, I've done many builds already. I have practiced with many builds. I practiced with the Master Sword, the Stone Striker. I didn't really like any of those. And obviously I've put legendaries in other slots like my Charm, my Ghost Weapon, etc., etc. This is a legendary I found to be most useful for me due to the fact that like I said, I felt like I was kind of weak. But as you can see, I have spec'd into melee damage, ultimate damage, and water stance, because obviously guys, the water stance is absolutely important. Now, when it comes to ultimate damage, I did test out Oni damage for like a good week or so. And then I have just recently started testing ultimate damage. And as great as Oni damage is, because obviously Oni damage applies to every source of damage, the thing about a samurai is that you only have like a couple sources of damage: your katana, your kunai, and your ultimate. Whereas when I play my assassin, I have many other sources of damage, right? So I found that having ultimate damage spec'd into my katana is something that I was needing and I didn't know I needed. So now when I use my ultimate, it actually feels really strong. Believe it or not, it really does, even if it's attacking Oni or just regular foot soldiers, you know? So melee damage and ultimate damage is the way to go, I think, for me in this specific build. Obviously melee damage, because the majority of the damage that you do as a samurai is melee damage. Next up, guys, I have my half bow. Now the half bow, I'm a hunter at heart, so I do use the bow probably more than most samurai. I don't sit there and use the bow and stand back all crazy, right? Like, I'll use it to get my resolve back, and having range resolve gain is super important on your bow. Everything else doesn't really matter. You can have headshot damage, you can have range damage, either way. I have range resolve gain, headshot damage, and headshot refund. Just because, you know, I don't want to worry about getting arrows if I do use a lot of arrows as a samurai, which you typically don't, but I think I'm just used to headshot refund because of my, you know, my hunter life. I know what I'm saying. But that's my half bow, and, you know, nothing special. Now, guys, we're going to get into the defense charm, and this is probably the most controversial part of any samurai build. Any samurai can tell you, and from all the builds that I have gotten from you guys, every one of your builds has had a different type of charm. Now, this is the heart of my build, guys, my defense charm. Okay, I don't use the samurai's charm with blessed strikes like many people would. And now I'm not hating on blessed strikes, guys. I know blessed strikes is absolutely incredible. However, I do run combat regen, and let me explain why. With blessed strikes, guys, it is all dependent on you actually being able to hit somebody, right? Most people use blessed strikes and explosive blades. We'll get into the techniques later on. That combination, don't get me wrong, is absolutely powerful. You're really strong and you get a lot of health back, literally like 3 hits and you get your health back. But like I said, it is dependent on you hitting things. So if you're not hitting something actively, whether you're surrounded by a bunch of shield guys or spear guys that seem to fucking parry everything, you know, you're trying to take damage to gain resolve in order to get your ultimate. However, it's almost impossible sometimes because you're surrounded by these people that you can't hit, right? And by the time you're able to get a few hits in, right, your explosive blade or your spirit pull is gone, and so your blessed strikes are seemingly useless. Whereas combat regen mixed with spirit pull, you can just stand there and you don't have to hit anything, and you're getting health passively. And along with injured resolve gain, not only on my defense charm but also on my healing gourd at almost 25% each, you get a massive amount. Like I've had games, and I'll show you some gameplay where I was playing with another samurai, and in this week's Nightmare Survival on wave 11, you know how they all go to barracks, literally I can get like 3 or 4 different ultimates in that one wave, whereas maybe he'll get 1. So like it kind of just goes to show that, like, you know, yes, blessed strikes are great, but honestly, I can't really give up having injured resolve gain because, you know, as you may know, the samurai charm does not have injured resolve gain, and that's probably the biggest turn off for me. Injured resolve gain has been an absolute game changer for me in the sense of my playstyle when it comes to samurai. So I am running damage reduction, injured resolve gain, and combat regeneration. So combat regeneration definitely saves me in a lot of instances, or if I need some health back, I just back off the fight. And combat regeneration kicks in so fast. Like I literally, like, I back off the fight, and maybe like 2 or 3 seconds later, we're back in business. Like, we're getting health back already and it's good to go. So combat regen is a passive ability that legitimately changes my game style because it keeps me alive. Like I said, guys, these builds are circled around keeping you alive in solo queue, even with your teammates, right, and your friends. This is something that I definitely, you know, I definitely can't live without. So when it comes to the defense charm, damage reduction, honestly, I think is the only way to go at the top. And then you could either have ultimate damage or you can have injured resolve gain. I'm obviously, like I said, I'm running injured resolve gain for the reasons that I've already mentioned. You can do this either way, so it's up to you how you want to run this, but this is how I'm doing it. And I when I say I'm getting some insane, I get 2 hits and I already have maybe 1.5 bars of resolve. Yeah, that's half of my ultimate already. 2 hits from those regular sword guys. Okay, it's actually madness, and we'll go into playstyle a little bit later. Now, next up, guys, I have my kunai, where I am running obviously the base, melee damage, damage increase, and super massive. Now, some people might argue that putting cooldown reduction on kill can be useful, and I absolutely agree. However, like I said, we'll get into the techniques later, and I'll show you why I didn't put cooldown reduction on kill on my kunai. Obviously, it has such a short cooldown already, so that's what I'm running right there. And last but not least, guys, a healing gourd is an absolute must with this build. Cooldown reduction on kill, I did put that on there specifically because the healing gourd has a 90-second cooldown, so it's super long cooldown. So it's a super long cooldown, and having 3.8 seconds for every kill that you get taken off of your cooldown, on top of my technique that you'll see later on, is actually great. And I definitely use my healing gourd a lot, because with spirit pool does help you, but having healing gourd just allows you to take that much more damage and get your ultimate that much faster. So using it in conjunction with your spirit pool after your spirit pool has run out and you're trying to get even more resolve, it's actually insane and helps so much. So with that, I'm running cooldown reduction on kill 3.8 seconds, injured resolve gain at 23.8%, and that adds on to my injured resolve gain at 24.8% on my charm. So that's almost 50% in total extra resolve gain just from getting hit. That doesn't include melee resolve gain that you're getting just from fighting like you normally would. It's actually insane. And strong brew. So if you guys don't know what strong brew does, it increases your healing by 50%. So if it says quickly heal yourself for 25 health, it adds 50% on top of that. I don't feel like doing the math, but you get the picture, right? So there's all kind of ways you can run this gear. Like I said, I've done so many things. You can have last breath on here with damage reduction, injury resolve gain. You can have combat regen on here, and kind of just go ham with like a moon katana maybe, and super armor where you're not going down. Like I said, that's a whole different build, guys, and there's all kind of things. I have tested these things, so I'm just letting you know the different kind of things you might see out there. Another thing, I have tested the spirit kunai as well. It's actually really awesome, don't get me wrong, but like I said, I felt a little bit weak, so having Danny boy, help me out here. Having MASAMUNE'S edge is something that I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of as my samurai. So guys, those are like the different kind of builds you can have. This is the build that I am using. It has incredible sustainability, incredible survivability, and super good damage. Like, not obviously the maxed out damage you can get, but the damage on this is absolutely incredible. So there's the build right there if you guys want to take a little screenshot. And let's get on to the techniques. All right, guys, so here we are with my techniques. Now, techniques can be very controversial as well, so I will do my best to explain why I choose the techniques that I choose. Okay, and that's what this in-depth video is for. Now, I am running Spirit Pool, and I did explain earlier why I'm not using Explosive Blade. I just think having this siphoning heal is just so strong, especially when you're trying to take as much damage, because obviously, you know, this is a resolve type build where you are trying to get resolve in order to use your ultimate, if you haven't already deducted that one. So having Spirit Pool is just so strong to where you are not forced to actually be attacking anything in order to be getting health back. but you still can be attacking things and getting resolve gain. Having Explosive Blade, don't get me wrong, was super fun. It's just like Wave the Flame, where it's an unblockable attack and it does so much damage. But for this specific build, I think having Spirit Pool is just so important. Now for perk number 1, guys, and this can also be pretty controversial, I did go with decreased class ability cooldown, and I forget who it was, but somebody explained this absolutely incredibly to me, where your gear is mainly for damage, right? And you know, doing the technical part of it, and your techniques are to keep you alive. Having increased base health is actually pretty good. I did try using that before, and it does add a lot of health. Also having increased melee damage. Now it does say 10%, but honestly 10% is a lot once you stack it with all your other damage. So if you're going for a raw damage build, this is a super viable choice. I am using Samurai Unleash, decreased class ability cooldown by 15%, because like I said, I'm not using a Spirit Kunai. Now using a Spirit Kunai would be a different story. However, I'm not using a Spirit Kunai anymore, so having this right here, I have found that has helped me so much. Not only is my Spirit Pool coming off of cooldown extremely fast, it feels like, but so is my Healing Gourd, so is my Kunai, and honestly, like, having cooldowns is so important, guys, especially for the next wave, that you know, you almost don't realize how important it really is until you're sitting there in front of the next wave and you don't have anything off cooldown and you're like, oh man, I just gotta fight with my katana. So for me, this was a no-brainer with this build, and I think it synergizes well with everything I have. Like I said, you can do however you want, but this is what I'm running, okay? Next up, guys, lightning reflexes. I think it's kind of pointless, you know, parrying oncoming arrows. Like when you're leveling up and this is the only thing you have, it's cool, but no. Critical defense, guys. Critical defense is good, increased parry and dodge window, but that's dependent you being at low health. And having low health, you know, this is the opposite of the play style you want. When you have low health and you're using this build, you kind of want to back off the fight a little bit and play a little bit more conservatively, and make sure that you're letting your combat regen kind of heal you up a little bit, because it will make a massive difference. So this kind of goes against what I'm using my build for, so I do not use critical defense. I am using resolve increase, because increasing my resolve by 1, I have found, not only am I going to be getting a crap ton of resolve, but you will also get resolve in reserve. So having an extra slot for that resolve to go to is actually super important. Plus, once you use your ultimate, you only need 2 more, because you have 4 total, if we're going to do math, even though I said I didn't want to do math earlier. Once you use your ultimate, you only need 2 more resolve slots in order to get your ultimate back. And with this build and the resolve that you get in this build, it's almost in the blink of an eye that you're getting your resolve back. It's absolutely insane. So having an extra slot and an extra place for your resolve to go is important for this build, so I'm using resolve increase. Lastly, I think it's a no-brainer, Hachiman's Frenzy, with 2 extra strikes on your ultimate. I feel like I don't need to really explain that. Performing unblockable quick strike with Heavenly Strike is good if you're trying to unlock the outfit that requires you to get 200 kills. Other than that, that's about it. 2 legendaries, you know, you can run this, but I think for a samurai, I think you're kind of really handicapping yourself in the sense that you're kind of cutting off a massive source of damage when it comes to using your samurai. So I think using Hachiman's Frenzy with 2 extra strikes on top of the ultimate damage that I have, on top of the melee stack damage that I have, is just overkill, and something that you need to clear a point and to hold your own as a samurai. And every ultimate that you're going to be getting, which you're going to be getting your ultimate a lot with this build, depending on taking the right damage, and we'll go over play style, that like, you know, you're going to be hitting 5 things every single time, and that's insane. You can clear a whole wave like nothing. So that's what I'm using right there. Okay, now guys, I want to go over a little bit of the play style when it comes to using this build, because yes, it is a resolve build. Yes, you are getting an insane amount of resolve, and yes, it is dependent on you taking damage, but guys, it's depending on you taking the right damage, okay? That doesn't mean going in and fighting the biggest Oni and letting them beat you up. Dude, some of those spear guys will fucking one-shot you, so stay away from them as much as you can, because wow, did I make a mistake. I learned this firsthand, okay? I'm not just saying this, okay? I went in there thinking that I can just take on any of these Oni and I'll be fine. Nah, the spirit pole doesn't heal you that fast, but the little guys, those are the guys you're looking for. The guys that are going to keep you in the fight, like the shield guys that hit you, you don't really want them to hit you because they kind of knock you down unless they're swinging their sword. You want to get hit with swords. Also be aware of the double sword guys because they hit really fast, and before you know it, you'll be downed. So be careful with them. They do a lot of damage, and they're really fast. The main guys you want to get hit by are the single swordmen. Those guys, when they hit you twice, you have about a resolve and a half immediately right off the bat. What you want to do when you're going into a fight, you want to let them get that first hit on you, and after they get that first hit, then you pop your spirit pull. Once you do that, take some damage from the little guys. The main people you want to let shoot you are the archers, guys. The Oni archers that shoot like 5 arrows at you. Not only are they shooting a bunch of arrows at you, but one archer shooting 5 arrows at you will fill your resolve bar all the way up with one, as long as all those arrows hit you, and you won't even take a lot of damage. So the archers are the ones you want to take damage from the most, then the sword guys, and then anyone else depending. The absolute last thing you want to do is get hit by the big spear Oni guys, unless they're the last ones. Then you know you want to gauge the fight properly and let them hit you with their little strikes, you know, but also make sure you're at the right health because those guys hurt. They hurt, so be careful. But other than that, guys, you're going to be getting a lot of resolve, so be ready to have a great time with this build. And I am very confident that a lot of you will take this build and, you know, run with it and obviously tweak it into your own, which I love. So today is gonna be a busy day, and had I not woken up this early, I don't think I would be able to get this video out to you guys. However, I forced myself up because I know it's the weekend and I know it's reset time, and I know that a lot of you will be able to enjoy this build for the weekend and for however long to come. I've had so much fun with this samurai, I wish I could even explain, and I thank you all so much for giving me the builds and letting me test the samurai to its full potential. This way I can come and give you guys an actually well-tested build and not just something that, you know, something that I just saw somewhere. Okay, this is I put time into this, about 2 weeks of just straight playing samurai, and honestly I've had a great time. I've used it in Nightmare Survival, I've used it in Nightmare Story, and this build kicks ass, and I don't think I'll ever go away from this build, if I'm being 100% honest. So that's my build, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to join the Discord if you guys are interested in looking for a group, or, you know, just trying to find people to play with in general. Be sure to join, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a great time making it. Much love to you guys. Thank you for all your love, all your support. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers. I would have never ever thought that we would have been anywhere close to that. The Ghost of Tsushima community has basically brought me in and treated me so well, and I will never ever find words to be able to thank you guys. So the most I can do is put out videos and show you guys just how thankful I am. So with that said, guys, have a great weekend, be safe, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. Much love, peace.